KM Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G, Big Lou. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock every Tuesday night on KHAM Radio. Great weekend. We had the Kentucky Derby. Mystic Dan won the 150th running of the Derby. A heck of a race. It came down, I don't know if everyone was watching. I was at Oaklawn watching it. I mean, that last crossing the finish line, you had three horses right there. That horse is owned by a local Gasaway family from Shreveport. I don't know if they still live here. From what I read, I think they used to live here. They're in the horse business now. A heck of a feat. Last year's winner was also owned partially by the Fertitta family. It was owned by there's groups of people. So in horse racing, you could go. If you Google, there's companies that you could buy horses. You don't buy the whole thing. Okay, people. You can buy shares of the horse. Now, if you have enough money,
Right.
I think the horse last year was, I think it was $110 per share, and I think they owned 1,000 shares. But there was, I think over 150,000 shares of the horse
Wow.
sold. So yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah, because there's a lot of training and some, there has been horses
Yeah.
50
Training,
to 200.
nutrition.
Yeah, 200,000. But a lot of them horses that were running were five and six, $700,000 horses. But it was a great race. They said they don't think he's going to run in the Preakness, which
Oh,
kind of makes sense. We'll talk about the Preakness, and it's in 2 weeks. And somebody was asking me, well, why wouldn't he run in the Preakness? And I said, well, I don't know exactly. I don't know the condition of the horse. The horse could have got a cut, could have had something, but I do know there was three horses nose to nose at the finish line. And as you know, the Preakness is longer than the Derby, and the
yes.
Belmont is even longer. So a lot of
Hmm.
times they may feel, I don't know. I haven't, like I said, it isn't out yet, but they may feel that he's not the horse for that, not the horse for those, because they are going to be even longer. But they'll make a
Right.
bunch of money off that horse breeding. But yeah, congratulations to the Gasaway family. I mean, heck of a run. Like I said, it was a great day at the track. Um, so that was cool. And we got a bunch of basketball.
Bunch of basketball. Yeah, but before we get to basketball, Tony, I got one question.
Sure.
So when it comes to the horses, it some some runs are speed and some are endurance. So it depends on which race is running to,
Yeah,
where you feel with
that's
your horse runs.
yeah.
Okay.
When
All right.
you start getting into, a lot of the, like if you go to a racetrack, a lot of the races are 6, 7, 8 furlongs. But when you start getting to a mile tenth, mile and a quarter, that's a long race. There's a lot of
Okay.
horses that can't just that isn't in their bred. They ain't what they were bred for. We'll
Right.
see. Like I said, we'll talk about it next week. Maybe we'll get some more information. We can get some more information. Scores. But getting back to basketball,
Woo,
How about them Timberwolves?
woo. How about the Minnesota Timberwolves? You know,
Holy cow,
they
man!
man, they pull out game one against Jokic and the defending champions. One of his comments was he needed to clone himself, you know, to to fend off Gobert and Cat, Carl Anthony Towns for the ones that don't know. And we said it
Yeah,
before this series started that they're going to need some size, to bump Jokic off of his spots. But he still put on a show, but he had to work hard for it.
absolutely.
And
And Denver's
Anthony
not out of it.
Edwards, no, they're not. It's just game one. I do believe they're going to come back in this next game and dominate.
I I totally agree. And then we had the Cavaliers close out Magic. We had them close
Yeah,
them out. Um, you had, and so we'll talk about that series going forward. And then you had the Mavericks eliminate the Clippers. What
yeah.
goes on there?
Uh, he's got a new arena, Tony. So he may not have a choice not have a choice but to run it back. But here's the dilemma. We already know James is not taking the payday.
No,
The
no,
key
that's not
element
happening.
is, and I don't think Paul George is going to do that either. But I feel like they owe it to that organization because the Kawhi contract has really killed a reboot. Keep one star and reboot with younger players and build it back up. I think
Right,
Kawhi's contract has killed that. So they got some thinking to do. Do you bring them back? Not sure because there's availability, especially with Kawhi. So I don't know what you do. Me honestly, I blow it up and start over, but I don't have any draft picks. You know what I'm saying to make it relevant, and I gotta have superstars to fill this brand new arena I just built.
right. They got some
So
issues.
that,
They definitely got some. They got some issues. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they got knocked out first round. They're not making deep runs. They can win a bunch of games in the regular season, but not really doing a whole bunch. Harding, is he going to stay? Because to me, when it comes to Harding, contracts mean absolutely nothing.
nothing.
Yeah, it
He's
doesn't
in it
mean
for the bag, and I'm starting. And last, I mean, I don't understand. You see what you get. You're going to get a awesome NBA star, a NBA regular season star. I, I'm not in his head, but I just feel like he doesn't want a championship. I think he loves where he's at. He plays well enough to get the big dollars, and he's gonna get you some
right,
buckets. And I think he's totally happy with that. There are some guys that play the game just to play the game. They could care less about stats and accolades and some even championship. They just, stack the cheddar and play the game I love to play that I've been doing all my life. And I think that's where James Harden is. I think he's content with just being a regular season guy, you know, and putting up the numbers that justify the money he receives. But come playoff time, you'll get one or two games out of them, which you did, and then they just lay an egg. It's hard for me to understand.
I'm sure. I mean, there's probably an argument on that, but at results, proof is always in the pudding. It just seems
Mhm.
like the playoffs, he hasn't had the best run in the playoffs. You could say, I mean, he was hurt a couple times. He wasn't 100. I mean, and I get all that. I really do.
Right,
But at the end of the day, I mean, you get James Harding, and maybe they thought they were gonna, like I say, he's just not really committed. It doesn't appear that he's committed. Don't know the man, but it doesn't appear.
right,
It appear that he's about the bag, which is not. I mean, that's his bag. No pun intended.
right.
That ain't
There's
nothing
nothing
wrong with
wrong
it.
with that.
Yeah,
Right,
but putting him in contention with putting him in contention with some others is like it doesn't look like him or Paul are ever going to get a ring. I mean, really, to be
right,
honest, I mean, we could be. I mean, it's getting to the golden years of their career. I
right.
mean,
The changing of the guard is happening in
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
NBA, and their window is this tight now.
And
Their
how long
window
has
is this
Harding been?
tight.
How long has Harding been in the league? Let's see.
It's been a while because him, Russ, and Kevin Durant started together in OKC, and that was many
Right.
many moons ago.
Um.
So
So he started. So he's been in the league 14 years. Started in 2009.
wow.
He played with the Thunder for 4 years.
Mhm.
He played with the Rockets. What, 6, 7, 8, 9. I didn't realize he played 9 seasons with the Rockets. I knew it was he played
Wow.
nine. Yeah, 9 seasons with the Rockets, two with the Nets, two with the Sixers, one with the Clippers. So I mean, at any time he could retire. He could play. I'm not saying he can't play, but at any time he goes, I'm kind of tired of this. I mean, he's 14. He's been in the league 14 years, going on his 15th years. He's got plenty of money. He's got the numbers. I mean, he's got. I mean, in all honesty, he has. He's got really good numbers. I mean, it's not like he
Yes.
doesn't. And he, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But again, our whole point of this is it's getting to be the end of the rainbow. Kind of like with the Lakers. You know what I mean? We fired the coach.
It's the whole entire coaching staff.
The whole staff. I don't know if. I mean, I guess those are good people to blame. I guess. But
yeah. And for once I can't really put it on. For once, you can't put it on AD because he played lights out throughout this whole season.
he did.
Um,
There's no doubt. Yeah, yeah,
but I understand what everybody's saying. When the Lakers were leading every game and they were losing the game, everybody points to coaching for that
yeah.
because it's like you can't close the game out, and that calls for substitutions and play calling, and that lies on the coaching staff. So I get that. Now there's room out there saying that it's LeBron. LeBron's the coach killer. This, that, and the third.
Yeah, that's the
I don't
rumor. I mean,
necessarily think so. I don't necessarily think so
I think he's got
because
input. I think he can make input. I mean, I think that.
yeah, his
Yeah,
influence is very high. He has very high influence. Because people started going through the names, the David Blacks, Mike Brown,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and those guys. And now, of course, he has influence. He's the superstar. But you have to know how to make adjustments with the personnel that you have. So it comes down to coaching, but at the same time, when you have the biggest star, in the NBA, how it's hard not to. It's hard, if especially if you're not on the same page as that player. There's going to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
some upper office talking, if you
But
will.
here's a question.
So
Here's a question.
yes,
Here's a question too. Here's a very interesting question. I think so. Next season, your contract's up, and they say you're an up and coming. You're an up and coming star at NBA. Lou, man, where would you like to play? These are your options. I think we can get you on Minnesota or Boston or Denver or the Lakers. The Lakers to me are the last choice.
right, absolutely, it's the last choice.
Up, I just gave you up and coming teams that have real good shots of winning a title. And so I
Hmm.
can say, you could say, well, I want to play with LeBron, or I can go and get a ring. I have a real good chance with Minnesota, even Milwaukee. Throw Milwaukee in there.
Yeah.
Denver. I mean, those are my guess. What I'm getting at is, I'm sure there's people that want to play with LeBron, but I think he's not first choice anymore.
No, because
Yeah, and that,
there's so much that you have to deal with when it comes to playing with a LeBron, a Steph, players of that mega star caliber.
yeah, Steph too. Steph
Everybody's
too.
always in your face. Yeah, everybody's
Yeah.
always in your face, and everybody's always asking about him. Hey, I dropped
Now
35 points. Yeah, that's cute, but what about LeBron? What did he think?
somebody was jumping on Clay. There's somebody that's already interested in Clay, picking up Clay, and I can't remember. I can't remember who it was. So there was already people already interested in Clay. Clay Thomas.
I know
Uh,
Dallas is
Dallas is. Yeah. Why wouldn't you be? I mean,
right,
because I think him in another situation with the pressure off him, he might go off. You know what I mean? He
right,
might be like, holy cow. Because I think you brought this up last week. It's a lot of pressure to play in. Now it's funny that we're saying this. It's a lot of pressure to play in Golden State. It didn't used to be. Nobody ever.
no,
Golden State's been there forever, but when they started winning championships, and pressure was on, there was a lot of. I'm sure there was a lot of pressure for Clay and a lot of dealing with certain stuff and egos and I'm sure he looks forward, and I'm sure he loved his time. I mean, he's got 4 rings. I'm sure he
Hmm.
loved his time in Golden State, but I'm sure he's probably like, man, I'm ready for a new beginning somewhere.
Yeah. Hmm.
And there's plenty of teams. I'm sure Dallas would love to have him. And there's a bunch of teams that would love to have him.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so and that's going to be another tough one. I think not everybody wants to play with Steph and Green at the end of the rainbow. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just like LeBron. I'm not saying anything bad, but there's other options, younger teams.
Hmm.
Because, like I said, the teams that I just mentioned, if you look at them on paper, Boston, Minnesota, um, uh, Denver, um, Milwaukee, those teams have opportunities of being good for a long time. You're catching them at the beginning of the tour. Like basically, I don't know how
Right.
else I don't describe it. So I mean, the opportunity is endless. You know what I mean? I mean, and I think Steph and them, they've been in the league a long time. They've got
Yes.
4 rings, and Steph's going to give you 150%. He's going to score a bunch of points. Uh,
Hmm.
think they'll go to the playoffs again, but I just don't know. Same thing with LA. Something's
Hmm.
missing from LA. Don't know what it is. I don't necessarily agree with firing the whole coaching staff. I mean, but I guess you got to blame somebody, and that's who got the blame. But at this point, now I think it's going to have to be on the players. Um,
Right.
I mean,
And I and
no, I mean
right
we're
and
running out of people to blame. I mean, really,
absolutely because and that's why everybody is turning to LeBron because of the fact that the entire coaching staff got let go. So
yeah,
everybody's like, it sounds like a superstar move right there for them to clean house like that.
yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
So
That's
let me
something.
ask. So we got the Denver series. We got the
Mhm.
India. What do you think about India? See, Indiana and the Knicks, New York. I think the Knicks are a little bit better, but they're giving New York a lot of credit, a little bit more. They're kind of not paying attention to the Pacers. The Pacers may be that black horse that you can win some money on, especially if
Mhm.
you play around with the spreads. You know what I mean? I mean they're going off 6, 7 points plus, and I don't sleep on Indiana. Don't think that
No,
Indiana ain't gonna ruffle your
'cause they-
feathers. And
right, because they
yeah,
they run, they run high
they
endurance. They will worm
yes,
you the whole game. So
yes, that's a
and those around game 3 when when it's starting to wear down on you a little bit, I think those guys are going to be now. The problem that you have is if you can slow the game down, play a half court game against Indiana, then you can run your plays. Then you can execute the basketball.
right.
But if you let
And,
them control the tempo, they're gonna run you out of the gym.
yep, that's exactly right. I think, and so now by saying that, I think New York probably will be able to squeak this out in 6. Depending on there's a couple of little light injuries going on. Cleveland and Boston. Does Cleveland have an honest shot of beating Boston? Anything's possible.
Right. They're gonna win some games. I think it's going to be I don't want to say a gentleman's sweep. I you know
No,
I think um with Donovan Mitchell, he needs he's gonna need a little help from the rest of the guys. But and he he has I had to look up the stats and look his name up. The squad is okay. I don't think they're going to get past Boston, but sometimes Boston's have a tendency to play down to their talent.
that's true.
You know,
Uh,
so they're way better. I'm not going to say way better. They were better than Miami, and Miami gave them a run because you
Yes.
play down to your talent.
Yeah.
So they're going to squeak some games out. I don't think they're going to win the series, but I think they could take it past 4 games you know if Cleveland
I think
if they let Cleveland play their style of basketball, they'll probably win more than 4 games.
Boston. I think it's Boston in 6. Dallas and the Mavs. I mean, I'm sorry, Dallas and Oklahoma. Uh, this may be a little more interesting than I thought. Kyrie and them are really playing well together.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's younger. Yeah.
Mhm.
How do you see this one going?
Um,
You like Oklahoma?
uh, I like Oklahoma. I just you gotta have experience. Luka's got playoff experience. Kyrie's got deep playoff experience, and he knows. He played with LeBron, so he knows when to let the star do his thing. Once they get that dynamic out, you know what I'm saying. Now they kind of figure out. They figured out a little bit. Okay, this is your game. This is my game. Now they got to break that down to quarters.
Right.
This is your quarter to go. This is my quarter to go. Once they figure
Right.
that dynamic out, they're going to be hard to beat because
They are.
Kyrie can do anything. You know, he's he's bananas. To the rim. There's nothing you can do with him, and Luca is just lights out, and he plays the guard position. You know,
Correct.
so these guys are good. I think they just need a legit big and a wing, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I do. I totally agree. Like I said, some of these teams watch the spread because you got these teams that will pop up a win like Minnesota, and you may catch the next
Hmm.
game, and they may be +7. You could go in there. That's one thing about the whole world of sports betting now on your computer at a kiosk. You can tweak the spread. So let's say I'm just giving you all some because that's what a lot of serious sports bettors are doing. They're grinding out money. So they go to Minnesota. Minnesota's +7, 105. Well, they may be able to get 3 more points and it'd be minus 160. So they're
Hmm.
losing a little bit of money, but as long as they're winning, you know what I mean. That's the name of the game. You're just
Right,
trying to manipulate the system. And you're not going to, like I said, it ain't all about winning $1 million every time. But if you're going
right,
to play with the system, especially if you are going to do parlays, go in, change the spread to your favor. Now it may not be your favorite on the money line. It may not be it may change your money line, but the more you change the spreads, they got 5 games.
right,
So the 5 gamer won't play as if you bet the Vegas line, but it still pays. And
right,
and that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. I mean, that's why you see these guys spending so much time at these kiosks. They're playing with the spread going back and forth,
right.
trying to change the money line or change the point in a favorable. I mean, the other night there was people who lost by 30. Nobody saw that coming. It was just one of those. When the Mavs
Yeah.
smoked them by 30. Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
I was talking to some guys at the book, and they're like, "Seriously, 30?" I was like, "Yeah, I didn't see 30 coming." You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, yeah.
he had juiced it. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
You don't
nobody
see
thought.
it.
Yeah, Harding and them were going to lose by 30. I could see 8, 7. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I'm with you. I would bet Boston to win the series, and then take in each individual game. Boston to win the series, and then tweak your games because they're going to be
Yeah.
giving Cleveland a lot of points. Yeah, they're going to see
Yes.
Cleveland with 10 points, 11 points, 12 points, 13 points. And that's a lot of points, even in the play. I know Boston on paper is way better, but you're going to
Hmm.
get disappointed. And then you try to bet them on the actual money line. Boston, if they're giving Boston 11.5 points, they're going to be like negative 600, 650. That's hard to make any money on that. So you got to play with
Right.
you got to play. And then, watching, I think this series with the Mavs and Oklahoma, I think a lot's going to be said. Either
Hmm.
the Mavs, I know this is kind of stupid what I'm about to say, but either the Mavs are going to win or Thunder's going to win. But here's the difference: if the Thunder wins, they're going to go, "Oh, that's the up and coming Thunder, young, powerful." But if Dallas loses, then all of a sudden you start going, "Really? I mean, really? Is Luca really?
Yeah.
Is
Did
he?
this
He's
work?
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, is he really worth
Yeah. The
that
doubt
money?
comes in. Yeah.
The doubt
Couldn't
comes in.
beat.
If he can't get
Right.
right,
How
couldn't
do you
beat any
expect
good
to go
team.
to the finals if you can't beat the up and coming team?
Right. And I think that's where the difference. Now, like Lou said earlier, we both really like the Timberwolves, really do. But man, do not get confused that we said Denver was going to lose this series. We never, because people will twist it like, "Oh man, you said no." I said we liked the
No, we
Timberwolves.
said
That
we
doesn't
like
mean
Minnesota and what
yeah,
they do.
but
That doesn't mean they're
yeah,
going to win because we like what they do. We
yeah. Well,
can like a team that's not going to win. It's possible.
yes, and that's true. And do believe me, Denver's going to take it up a notch. Game two,
Oh
I
yeah.
promise you.
Oh yeah.
That's not
Yeah, they're going to
that's
make
not going to be an
adjustments.
yeah. They're going to make some adjustments, and it's going to be this ain't going to be it's going to be a tough series. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes seven. Wouldn't be surprised at all if it went seven because the
I think
Timberwolves.
it's going 7.
I do.
And
I
I
do.
right. And I think Denver is going to win by Jokic playing point four. He touches the
Okay.
ball first, distributes, get open shots, and then does his work. Once they get that floor spreaded, then he goes in and cooks.
Right.
Watch for that next game, y'all. Watch for that play. Everything's going to go through Jokic. He's going to be the point center.
Yep.
So when they're putting the bodies on him, he's going to distribute with the passes. And then when they spread out to try to shut down some of those open shots, that's when he goes to work underneath. He's going to cook.
Yep.
You know, he's going to get
He's
in.
just
He still got his, but they're going to
yeah.
make it a whole lot easier for him with a lot of switches, a lot of pick and rolls, cuts to the baskets. Just watch for the execution of a basketball player of the Denver Nuggets in this next game.
Yeah, he'll take over the game. He'll run it all from. He'll run. You're like you said. He's going to decide who's getting the ball, the pass. It's all going to center around him. And then as soon as you try to key up, just like you said, he's going to come in and hammer you to death. You'll be like, "Geez, I can't get anything
What do we do?
anything taken."
What do we do?
Yeah. What do we do? What do we do? All right, man. So look, another Tuesday night's about to be in the books. I want to thank Big Lou. Like I said, contact us at our Facebook page at KM Radio. Hit us up at the sports book. Don't forget to check out our Girl J Party Monday through Friday, drive time 3 to 6. Hit her up. Got the request line. And like I said, if you guys have any questions or want to do any kind of business with the radio station, hit us up at either Facebook page, call the station. All right, guys.
Yeah.
I want to thank
And
everyone
one
for
more
tuning
thing,
in. What you got?
one more thing, Tony. We got a lot of graduations coming up. There's going to be some
Oh yeah.
graduations parties. If you need a DJ for your graduation party, 221-318-221-5422. Call K-Ham Radio. We have a plethora of DJs that can play anything that you want. Just get in contact with us. Let us know. Call the station. I got the number on the screen for everybody that's watching. And again, it's 318-221-5422. Book you a DJ and get your party going, get your party hyped, and send your graduate out with a bang.
All right, buddy. All right, we'll see you guys next week, Tuesday, 8 o'clock, right here on KM Radio. We go ham.
Damn.